guys, this is Vic from Drop Spotlight. We're here at GalaxyCon, Austin, Texas, and look who I here today.
Hey, I'm Mike Broder, president and founder of GalaxyCon.
Awesome. How are you enjoying Austin and bringing GalaxyCon here?
Austin's great. It's a wonderful city. We've been trying to get the show here for years. We were talking to them, pre-pandemic, and then, all that happened, and then finally we were able to make it happen. We're having a great turnout. The place is pretty busy today. I'm sure you've gone around, and we've got some amazing talent and guests, and we're having a blast.
Awesome. That's great to hear. I've been hearing so many good stories from people attending, vendors as well. They're like, wow, just wow.
That's great to hear. This is a first year launch, and like I said, it's going really well. There's some quirks that we have to with the building that we have to figure out. It's a new city for us, a new building, new set of rules. But overall, and then next year we come back, do it bigger and better, and then keep it going.
Awesome, that's great to hear. First things first, I have to congratulate y'all for the Kickstarter for To Boldly Go hitting their match already.
Yeah, we've got To Boldly Go, which is going to be, we did a Kickstarter for this documentary with the Treksperts, Mark Altman, Ashley Edward Miller, Darren Doctorman, Terry Farrell from Deep Space Nine is going to host, and it's going to be a road trip around America to a bunch of the locations from the Star Trek, TV shows and movies over the last 60 years. And we hit our goal, and the campaign goes till tomorrow, and then we're gonna figure out when we're gonna start shooting.
That's great to hear. Are there any specific iconic spots that you really want to visit? Maybe
at Vasquez Rocks, right, where Kirk fights the Gorn. That's cool, right? Yeah. Trona Peak, it's Pinnacles, where Star Trek V, where Kirk asks God, what does God need with a starship? There's a couple, the Cetacean Institute from Star Trek IV, where they find the whales. There's some really cool places that we want to go to.
Oh, I won't be able to keep control myself. I'll probably just heading out there, and that's awesome.
Yeah, and we got some cool stuff like Bobby Clark, who is the original Gorn captain. He's going to come with us too. Hang on, I think I got Mark Altman here. Come on.
Oh, look who we got today, y'all!
We have Mark Altman.
Hey guys, how are you?
The brains behind.
He's the man with two brains.
Yeah, Mark Altman is the one who came up with the idea for To Boldly Go. His latest documentary was 1982, Greatest Geek Year Ever, that just premiered on CW, and this is his next project.
Yeah, we were really excited about the chance to do something in the Star Trek world. I was an executive producer on the center seat in 50 years of Star Trek, but I wanted something that captured what it's like to be a fan who loves and is passionate about this, and going to locations. How do you create the 23rd and 24th century in the 21st century, or in the 20th century, as they did on the original and Next Gen? And so we talked about this being just such a fantastic idea. We said, who would we take on this journey that would make it more fun? And of course, Terry Farrell from Deep Space Nine jumped on board. And
she is a science officer
she
on
is
Deep Space Nine.
Officer, exactly.
So she's gonna.
But more importantly than that, she grew up as a huge fan of the original Star Trek. People don't know. They know her from the show, but she's a genuine Star Trek fan, and also was on a hit sitcom. So she's funny, she's charming, she's knowledgeable.
Looks a lot better on camera than we do.
That's for sure, right? So, people can ignore us and watch Terry. But we've been really lucky. The fans have really gotten behind it. We made our goal with a week and a half to spare. Got incredible support from the community. And then, we announced so many people that are joining us. Doug Drexler, Kirk Thatcher.
Kirk Thatcher, punk on a bus from Star Trek IV, who's also Leonard Nimoy's assistant on the movie. He's going to join us for our San Francisco shoot. When we do all this stuff with the whales and the nuclear vessels and all that stuff. Bobby Clark, the Gorn from Arena. He's going to come back to where it all started with him and where he fought Captain Kirk. We're going to have Lawrence Welcome-Bill, who's Spock's brother in Star Trek V, to go back to the where they found God.
Yep, and Cynthia Gao, who is the Romulan ambassador. So what we're going to do
and
is
more that we can't discuss that are much bigger names in Star
Trek and extremely well known to people that we can't announce. But what's so great is we're going to not only explore these locations and their incredible history, but the episodes that were made there. We're going to go into depth and we're going to see what it's like and hear stories no one's ever heard before. And it's a great way to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the filming of the original Star Trek pilot, The Cage. So this is a love letter from us to Star Trek. Star Trek is something that's given us so much. Now we're happy to be giving something back.
That's amazing. That is, as fans, we want something like that. We want the revisitation. We want the characters to check it out. You know, it's emotional. You know, when you go out there, go back to that spot, it's just historic.
Well, I think everyone recognizes Vasquez Rocks, and that's going to be great. And it's such a big part of the campaign on Kickstarter. A lot of the merchandise is backer rewards revolve around Vasquez Rocks. There's even a pet Vasquez Rocks, which is one of my favorite.
Ernie.
Ernie the pet rock. But so many other places, some familiar, some not. People recognize Starfleet Academy, the Tillman Reclamation, a lot of these places. But we're going to go places that no one knew about, and some that don't even exist anymore. But we found ways to recreate them. And somebody recently asked, "Are you guys going to go to space?" I said, "Never say never." So, but just so exciting, and we can't wait to get started. And thanks to the incredible support, we can get started now. And the Kickstarter is on for another few days, and then it's
off to the races.
Yeah.
That's great to hear, and that's amazing that the Kickstarter is very success. The story's gonna get out there as well as the documentary. Lastly, where can our fans find you on social media to keep in touch? Maybe look into see what streaming service might have it afterwards, or where the premiere will be at a theater.
Well, it's such a great marriage between the Inglorious Treksperts podcast and GalaxyCon. Two great tastes, they taste great together. They came together to do this. And so we're going to produce it, and then we're going to see. It's very similar to my 1982 documentary. We funded it off of Kickstarter, and then we made it, and then it was winning all awards all around the world and getting a lot of attention. And we had our pick of places to go, and obviously I had a show on the CW, and they were very aggressive about making a deal, so we sold CW. The same way this, we're going to make it, so people, the suits can't interfere, they can't tell us what to do, they can't dumb it down. We're going to make it the way we want to make it, and then we're going to go to the streamers, and we're going to the networks, and we're going to find the right place.
And then to follow us, makethetrek.com. So that's our website, is makethetrek.com, which is just for the documentary. And then you could always find the Inglorious Treksperts all over the internet, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, and their podcast, which is how we met. Because I during the pandemic, I binged their podcast, became fans, and then went to a convention to meet with them and be like, hey, we got to do stuff together. And then galaxycon.com, you can follow us, and we're going to constantly post about this stuff on our social media.
We're very lucky because we have a lot of the same interests, and so I think us partnering with GalaxyCon is going to lead to something really special. And
there's no bigger expert. I mean, you wrote the book on Star Trek. You did the oral history of Star Trek. You and Ed Gross.
I did the definitive book about the history of Star Trek. And I always love that quote from the LA Times. Mark Altman is the world's foremost Trekspert. And people come up and they're like, so if you're such a big Trekspert, what's Captain Kirk's safe number? I'm like, I'm not that kind of Trekspert. I'm an expert on how the show was made. And
the producers and the production and the back, all.
I don't know the trivia. Like, you got me. Okay, you're right.
But if you want to know what was going on in the back room in those meetings, that's what Mark knows.
Exactly.
He can't tell you what happened in season 2, episode 12. In
Discovery, that's for sure.
Oh, that's for sure. But you can tell you how that episode got made.
Yeah.
And what the bottom line budget was, and
absolutely. And I think at the end of the day, we say this documentary is Curb Your Enthusiasm meets the Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test. So it's going to be great. I think it's going to be very different because it's going to have a narrative component. So it's going to be a hybrid documentary. It's not just going to be a bunch of talking heads. It's going to feel very visceral because you're going to be on the road with us.
That's great to hear, and that's great to hear. With that partnership, I wouldn't mind seeing GalaxyCon having a premiere, one of the shows.
Well,
let's see what we do.
Never say never,
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you all for your time, guys. Links are below on the description. Check it out. Be very excited. This is Vic from Drop Spotlight. We'll see you
Thank you, Vic.
at the cons.